Hello, this is Brittany with Redeemable Junk, and I'm here today to attempt to show you guys how to make a journal cover, a soft journal cover, out of Amazon envelopes or any type of packaging, really. So what you're going to want to start out with is your signature, and I just chose this signature. It has some pretty decorative paper in it and some blue dyed paper. So that's what you're going to start off with. This is going to help you measure how big you need the package to be. So what I did is I just flipped it over, made sure I had a little bit of room on the inside, and I do. And I marked where I'm going to cut it down. So I just get a razor blade, and I could use a ruler to help guide me, but I'm just going to try to eye it. Let's see how well it works out. Worked out pretty good. So we can get rid of that. And then on the inside, I just kind of eyed where I need to cut it from side to side. Just make sure you don't cut into your signature. And I'm just going to eyeball it as well. And there we have it. We have the beginning of our cover. So next you're going to want to choose some fabric. I would imagine you could use paper on these, but I think it's going to be a little bit harder to use paper on these. And as you can also see, this now is opened up. But we're going to cover this. I would say it'd probably be best just to glue that down. So I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac on the inside of this. And that should help hold it down for me. So now this is going to be the front of my cover. And I don't really have a whole lot of fabric. I just got this pillowcase that I thought was pretty, and I thought I could use it. So what we're going to do is you're going to want a little bit of overhang on all sides of your fabric, okay, because we're going to flip that over. So what I'm going to do is just put a cut there, tear it. I'm out of frame, sorry. Put a cut here, tear it. Now I have a piece of fabric that I can cover my packaging up with, okay? And you know, I was planning on making this a no-sew video, but I think since this is open now, since we cut it, it's probably going to be best to sew around this to keep it shut. I'm going to go ahead and go do that now, and I'll be right back. If you don't have a sewing machine, you don't have to do that, because actually, let's not do it, because the fabric's going to come over and hold it shut. So we're just going to pass on that. I might cut it. I might go sew it here in a few after I get my fabric on, but right now I'm not going to. So what I like to do on my covers, and I know some people just bend them up and bend them down the edges or the corners. I don't like to do that. I like to cut mine like that. And actually, I usually make a V. I go like down my in frame. You can barely see me. And then up on the other side, and I just make a V. So we'll just turn this around. I don't have a big workspace here in my filming area, so it's really hard for me to do this and stay in camera and frame. So now that we have those edges, we're going to get our Fabri-Tac, okay? And we're just going to, sorry, let the glue go down to the bottom. We're just going to put some glue down the edge. Now, if you have any type of clips or anything, you can clip it now. I don't usually have to clip mine. It works fine The glue usually holds it down pretty good on its own. But I know some people clip theirs. And sorry, I'll move up a little bit more in frame so you guys can see what I'm doing. I can't move up a whole lot though. Like I said, my work area, my filming area isn't that big. But all I'm doing is putting Fabri-Tac along the edges and then bending my fabric up onto the glue and over the edge. And I don't really have plans for this journal. I might give it away. I haven't really decided yet. I just thought I would do a tutorial since I've never done one on a soft cover before and show you guys how it's done. So there we have our cover. Okay, look at that. Isn't it so cute? So you want to give that a few minutes to dry. And next, I decided to cover the inside with white. The only issue was my white was see-through, so I thought I would double it up, and I had plans to iron this fabric before I started this video, and I forgot to do it. Imagine that. Leave it to me. I really wish I didn't have to use two pieces. I'm trying to think about what would be the easiest way to do this, because you don't want it going over. You're just gonna bring it to the edges. And my fabric isn't straight cut. It's not cut straight. At all, actually. So let's see if I can do this and not get my big head in. I have to stand up. I'm so short. I have such a hard time seeing over my projects when I'm sitting down. Okay, so we're just going to go with it. How about that? Hopefully I'm still in frame. And I think what I'm going to do is cut it, tear, and hope I didn't tear too much off. And we need a little torn off over here. Crap. Well, that did not turn out straight. It wouldn't tear for me. But it is a junk journal, so I guess it doesn't have to be straight. It just makes it look a little better when it is. But you know what? I think I'm just going to go with it. I am going to go sew this piece together, though, since it is two pieces, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got that sewn together. Now, I'm not saying this looks the best. This is a tutorial just to show you guys how to do it. You know, if this was a journal I was selling, I would put a lot more work into making sure it was even and everything was perfect on it, but it's not. So we're just going to go with the flow. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this part down. And then we'll have the cover done. So let's get this glued down. I'm trying to think the best way. I'm afraid if I put glue all over, it's going to seep through. So we're going to see. We're going to test a little area. That's the best way to do it. Let's test a little area because sometimes that Fabri-Tac does seep through and it doesn't look good. And it looks like it's going to seep through. I really hate to, I should have sewn, when I sewn that together, I should have sewn it to this. That would have been cute. So we're just going to go along the edges of this and sew and glue it down. And then I think what I'm going to do is take it to my sewing machine and sew it. Again, that's not mandatory. Glue will work and hold it together just fine. I just like to have the extra reinforcement. I already did that side. What am I doing? Okay. So I'm going to take this and sew it real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, there we have it. We have our cover. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to put the signatures into this. So, as you can see, let me get rid of some of these strands that are hanging off. It actually is, it didn't turn out too bad at all. That's this inside of it. And we're just going to fold it in half. And since this is a soft cover, it's pretty hard to make the spine. So what I would suggest doing is turning it over and then getting some kind of marking tool. And right where you see the edge, okay, or where you want your spine, put 3 dots. Okay, so there's my dots. You can barely see them, but they are there, and I really kind of want to, I need to move that one down a little bit more. Hate to do that since I've already marked on it, but I think they're all straight. So what we're going to do is get our signature. Now we're going to hold our signature up to where we want it to lay, and we're going to put our marks where the holes are on our signature as well, okay? Because that's where we're going to get our holes. Now I'm going to get my Pink Chomp. Now I don't usually do my signatures this way, but we're going to do it this way on this one. This is just another way to do it. So you want to make sure your papers are the right way up, and mine are. Find your center page. Make sure they're folded really well, or they're in there really well and tight. You know, usually I do this on this inside, so I don't usually do this on the outside. That's going to be a little more difficult, but we're going to go with it. Now, you don't want to use the biggest hole to do this, okay? So I got my hole 1. Got my hole 2. Hopefully none of my papers moved, as I'm just doing this pretty quickly. Hole 3. Yeah, one of them's, oh no. Yeah, I messed up on one of them. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to repunch that one. Look at that. It went over to the corner. I don't know how that happened at all, but the pages were not lined up. There we go. That stinks. Okay. Usually what I do is I'll show you guys now. I'll just grab them. Is I have these I got from the Dollar Tree. And I usually just clip my journals together before I sew my signatures or put any holes in it. It's better that way. I'll make sure you guys seen that, sorry. I just do it like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put holes in our cover, okay? So we're just going to do the same thing that we just did. Only we're going through fabric and, let's see which one's the right hole. Okay. Fabric and the packaging envelope. I really need a new Big Chomp. That just doesn't want to work very well anymore. Okay. So now we're going to get some thread. I'm going to gather my thread real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's find what string we're going to use. No, I think I'm going to go with the string that I've not really used very much. Just because I've not opened it yet or used it, and I need to use up the stuff that I don't use very often. So I'm using wax thread is what I'm using, but you can use any type of thread. I just like wax thread. And this is just a regular 3 pamphlet stitch. This will be super easy to sew in. So what we're going to do is get our needle, thread in our wax string or thread. We're going to go through the center hole. This wasn't the right needle. This one has a curve on the end of it. I'll make it work. So we're going to go through the center hole. And then we're going to go through the top hole. And the top hole of our signature. And then we're going to go from the top hole all the way down to the bottom hole. Make sure to go through the hole of your cover. Now we're going to go back through the center hole one more time. There we have it. We're just going to cut enough string off to be able to tie this bad boy together. Now you want one string on one side of the string going down and one on the other side, because if you don't, your string will fall into your hole. So we're going to do lefty righty. That means you're going to start tying like this, and you're going to take your left one and swoop it under, okay? And then what you're going to do is just switch hands, and you're going to take your right one and swoop it under, okay? That locks them in. Yeah, that bad boy ain't going nowhere. And we really almost need a tie on this to hold it shut, because these, cut the excess string off. These soft cover journals, they don't want to stay shut if they're done with a packaging. They just don't want to stay shut. They like to come open. So it'd be best to just wrap a string or some seam binding or something around it and hold it shut. But this is what we made today. So it's super simple. This is a great beginner's journal if you're a beginner. We literally made that in 20 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like. It's super pretty. And I think that I might just give this one away. And that's the center signature. And then the other pages are just, it says "You amaze me," or just the opposite of what you just seen. So it turned out really pretty, didn't it? So I hope you guys enjoyed this flip through, or not this flip through, this tutorial. Where is my mind today? I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to make, and let's listen to that. I know some people love that sound. So it's crinkly and lovely, and it turned out super duper cute. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. Have a wonderful day.